So the wet marsh isn't just a pretty landscape, it has a very important role to play. The canals are here to contain all the excess water in the river system during the wet winter months. And the idea is that all the rainfall flows from the river into these canals, and the canals turn into giant lakes as the land floods, and it's pretty spectacular. And normally that would happen 2 or 3 times in the course of the winter. Unfortunately, we've just had 3 very dry years in a row, 2017, 2018 and 2019, when there was very little rainfall during the winter. The land didn't flood, the marsh and the ecosystems were not replenished. There was also very severe drought in the summer and very, very severe heat waves. And as a result, the water table was not replenished, and so there was a severe shortage of water in the river system, and this had very serious impacts for agriculture, particularly for the growers of vegetables. There are many small-scale vegetable growers in the area. But one crop that there's a lot of, which is grown in this area, which demands a lot of water, is this, maize. So this maize, which is very widely grown in the area, is not the kind of sweet corn that you or I would eat. It's destined for animal food, and mostly it's for export. It's very unsuited to the soil and the climate. As I said, it requires lots of water, and generally it's grown with lots of pesticides and fertilizers. So as I said, we've been suffering from these droughts over the last few years. This has had big impacts on farming, and with the maize growers taking a lot of water from the system for irrigation, there were water shortages. And so one solution that's been proposed to this is to construct 16 enormous agricultural reservoirs in the river basin. The idea is that these will be constructed largely with public money, largely from the European Union, and that they will be built on farms, on private land, large farms, and the farmers will be able to fill them up largely by pumping from the water table in the winter, so that they have water to use for irrigation in the summer. Now that might sound like a good idea in theory, but there are a lot of problems with it, and I think the main problem is that this is public money privatising effectively the water supply in the area, which is a public resource, should be a public resource, and it will benefit a very, very small proportion, perhaps 5% of the farmers in the area, leaving the rest to struggle with not enough water. And it's promoting a very unsustainable form of agriculture, as I said, using lots of pesticides and fertilisers and irrigating heavily, when what we should be looking for is solutions which involve a different model of agriculture, growing more suitable crops and not irrigating so much.